Thanks for joining us here on the News at 6. I'm Morgan Romero. Idaho health leaders gave an update on the state of COVID today. There's hopeful news, but they say we're not out of the woods yet. As Shira Matsuzawa tells us, COVID is still spreading fast in the majority of our communities.
The data indicates that it is likely that Idaho has reached the peak of this current surge in cases.
Idaho Department of Health and Welfare Director Dave Jepson shared the latest news during Tuesday's weekly COVID-19 media briefing.
Testing positivity has declined for the past 4 weeks, and the number of new cases has started to flatten out. And there are encouraging trends in the hospitalization data. However, testing positivity remains very high.
Our statewide percent positivity has declined over the last 4 weeks from 17.3% to 13.2%, roughly 1 percentage point per week. But it still is well above the 5% that we look for.
Despite the decline in some of the COVID numbers, Jepson says we're not out of the woods yet. And folks should continue to wear a mask indoors and outdoors in crowded spaces. And those who can should get the COVID-19 vaccine.
When we compare our deaths in 2020 to the deaths in 2021, we see some striking differences.
Public Health Administrator Elke Shaw-Tolik says in 2020, the majority of COVID deaths were seen in those 80 and older. In 2021, it's been those under the age of 80.
And the deaths in 2021 for people aged 18 to 49 has almost tripled.
When it comes to schools and getting state funding for testing, 54 schools or school districts have expressed interest in the funding, while 21 have funding on the way.
The funding is not just for screening programs. It is also can be used to help them fund contact tracing. It can help them with, paying for additional staff for implementing mitigation measures.
She added the state's local public health districts are making significant progress on the backlog of case counts, and that most of the cases they've received are within the last 7 days.
Now, you might remember during last week's briefing, many of the healthcare leaders on the call mentioned how we're moving from a pandemic to an endemic. Well, last week I asked the department if there was a percentage of folks who need to get vaccinated in order for us to move off of that path. In an email yesterday, I was told, unfortunately, right now, that's unknown. Morgan?
I wonder if or when we'll ever know that. Shira, thank you.